When I was starting to get weird attitude, whenever I would go to, or, fucking weird food. I mean, like, not even food, like, stuff that would make me sick, stuff that had maggots, this was, after, I had not been going to the pantries and stuff. I had been going to Kroger. I'd been going to the regular stores. And a lot of times my purchases would be intercepted. So people would pull things off the shelves, especially if they were things that would improve my health, in response to stuff that people had done to make me sick directly. And so when I had processed a lot of stuff, and so when I started showing up at the pantries and the kitchens, when I went with Danny, they were like all like, yeah, take everything, you have lots of stuff. When I went by myself, then they really started to do the social engineering stuff, whether or not, I was really worthy to be there. And I got to wondering, what makes me less worthy than this heroin addict I'm standing next to? What makes me less worthy than this meth cook that I'm standing next to? What makes me less worthy than this convicted child molester that I'm standing next to? So I started wondering, why am I not equally worthy to these people? Why am I less worthy? If we're only serving the worthy poor, why am I not the worthy poor? Why are brain damaged people not the worthy poor? And I already knew the worthy poor was not a true concept. It was something that they sold to people to cover up that they were, that the money that you give to Catholic charities, they aren't giving part of it to crime. They are a criminal organization. And so I am not part of that criminal organization. So they don't want to share that money with me. And they try to make their excuses, and they try to change the vocabulary. But when you look at the verbs in the sentences, that's what you got to look at. I don't know my place. I'm not important, and I haven't accepted that. I'm trying to say something. I'm talking about my betters. And the concept of how does one determine who is a better and who is a lesser? That kind of thing. So, and it's all these things. And, conversations I had with my dad when I encountered him were along the lines of, how has this behavior benefited you? What have they compensated you with that you agreed to learn this behavior? Whatever portion of this behavior that you've internalized, how has that benefited you? And it hasn't. It has not. And, so that is something that is definitely, nobody does anything. No child learns to talk or go to the bathroom or anything like that unless it benefits them to do so. And a lot of times those who don't learn that stuff, they have learned that it will not benefit them to do that stuff. It will benefit them only if they don't do that stuff. And sorting through all the things that people have taught me to be dysfunctional, because if you don't accept the persona that they put on you, and in some cases that is a very dysfunctional and retarded and helpless persona, then they will say you're not worthy. And that's really the long and short of it. Is I'm not begging for them right. I'm not helping them beg right. That is the long and the short of it. Now, what they do with the money they beg, where does it really go? It goes to their big edifices and the people who live there.